Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day. So today is the final video in this series of my 1978 Jeep Cherokee. And basically what I want to do is I want to go for a walk around of everything I've done, or what I can remember I've done to this vehicle. So when I bought this vehicle about 6 months ago, I had three purposes. One, to make it safe for the road. Two, to make it dependable for the road, and so I don't break down. And number three, well, make it comfortable. So let's hop right into it and let's talk about the different things that I did to this Jeep to, well, make it those three things. So starting off, I actually got a really good deal on this Jeep. I've done zero body work and it ran. The engine had about 5,000 miles on it. Now that was on a rebuild about 15 years prior. It also has the transmission that had been redone, again, 15 years prior or so, and it has about 10,000 miles on it when I purchased it. So I had a really good starting foundation for this vehicle. So what do I do to make this thing roadworthy? Well, let's start with the brakes. This thing needed brakes all the way around because that only keeps me safe on the road, but it keeps everyone else around me safe. Just get it roadworthy. So up front, we did new rotors, soft lines, pads, proportioning valve. And in the back, I did a new hard line on that rear axle and soft lines also. Rebuilt the whole wheel drum, cylinders, shoes, drums, all new hardware, just to get this thing to be able to stop the way it should. And it does really well. What else we do? Well, I had to do the steering on it because when I got it, I could go like this and it would still go straight. So for the steering, I went ahead and I put a new pump on it because it was seeping, and then went down to the rag joint and replaced everything from the rag joint to the tie rods. That includes new redhead steering gear, all new tie rods, crossover, rag joint, everything. So really the only thing steering left in this, well, that's just the steering shaft. And it does pretty good. Now I have about this much play. So moving on from there, from your safety, we needed some reliability. So what do we do for reliability? Let's look under the hood and let's talk about it. So looking under the hood, this is pretty easy, honestly. So remember, the engine already had a rebuild. So we just did a tune-up on the engine, plugs and wires, and I did an oil flush on it just to get any grime that was sitting up there from this thing sitting for so long. Even though the owner started up every month, it still sat. So I got quite a few oil changes in it just to flush out any sludge that may be in there. Now the transmission, same thing. Just did a simple service to the transmission, changed the vacuum actuator valve for the shift points, fluid, filter, seals, good to go for there. Now, moving behind the transmission, that was the transfer case. Completely pulled that and had the Jeep Farm rebuild that completely. New bearings, seals, chain, and while we're in there, we put a mile marker two-wheel drive kit in there so I get better fuel mileage. Now, by doing that, we went ahead and put lockout hubs on the front. So here's our lockout hubs, so we can just spin freely, or we can go ahead and lock it just like that. Nice and easy to make these things serviceable. As I did the hubs, went ahead and serviced both the front and rear axles to make sure all the fluid in this thing was flushed. So I did a complete cooling system. The radiator, water pump, thermostat, hoses, heater core, everything is done. This thing runs nice and cool. Don't forget we did the overflow and the windshield wiper tank there. To help out with that reliability and dependability, put a complete fuel system on it. Pulled off the old carburetor, put a Holley Sniper EFI system on that. So what I went ahead and did is I replaced every fuel hose on this from the fuel filter all the way forward, unless it was one of the two factory hard lines running down the side of the tank, and I just flushed those out. While I was in there, I put a 12-volt low pressure pump that go ahead and fill the surge tank where the high pressure pump resides and feeds the Holley Sniper, and then goes back into the fuel tank if there's any fuel left. So under the hood was pretty good. All the fluids are done. Now don't forget we did a complete AC system, but we'll talk about that here under the comfort in just a minute. So moving up front and underneath for that dependability, reliability, and also comfort, we did the complete suspension. So I removed the rough country 3-inch lift leaf springs up front and the stock leaf springs with the lift blocks in the rear, and put an all new Rusty's 4-inch lift on here. While I was in there, I replaced all the shocks, took out the old worn air shocks in the back that leaked, and put the Rusty's ones in. Then I went ahead and I wrapped the stock rims did a little sanding, buffing, painting in the driveway. Maybe next time we'll powder coat them, and wrapped them with some 31-inch Milestar tires. So running these at 28 PSI gives me a nice cushy ride. Now remember, it's still a solid axle Jeep, so it's not gonna ride like a Cadillac. So moving around back, I went ahead and I took the homemade hitch off that came from the previous owner, and I put a nice heavy duty 10,000 pound hitch from BJ's Off-Road. Now I know the Jeep's only capable of towing 5,000 pounds, but hey, why not go overboard just for a little safety? And it also gives me a nice recovery point, because remember, these full-size Jeeps didn't have any factory recovery points. So some of the last few things we did on the outside is I went ahead, I tinted the windows because, well, I was looking like a fishbowl and everyone could see in, and living in this Arizona sun, you really need some tint. So I did limo in the back, 20 in the front, just to make it nice and dark. Now remember, this is not my daily driver, but I think it turned out pretty good. Also, we got the rear window working. Went ahead, pulled out that old cherry bomb that was pretty restricting. It actually stepped the exhaust down, and I just bolted in a muffler from a Super Duty, and I think that turned out pretty good. So moving into the inside of the Jeep, this is where the comfort really came in. So I did not a complete interior, but lots of things. Started off with some new door cards, fixed the handles, made everything look and function as it was supposed to. Then I went ahead, I upgraded the stereo system with nice kicker speakers. Then I went ahead and I upgraded the radio to a nice Bluetooth radio that gives you Bluetooth auxiliary in. It'll charge my phone, AM, FM, even has a satellite function if I want it. So opening the glove box, we went ahead and put a new glove box in. There's my Holley Sniper EFI. Here's my charging cord for my phone and the obvious 4-wheel drive now. Moving over here, as you can see, we have a brand new set of Dakota digital gauges. Now these gauges are one of the few things I did have the Jeep farm do. I had them clean up some wiring under the hood while they were in here with these gauges. And then I also had them rebuild that transfer case. And I think these gauges turned out really well. Let me show you how they light up. And there's the gauges, how they all light up. Quite nice, actually. Now, another thing I did on the interior, obviously, we did the seats. I had the center console recovered with the same material from the Corbeau seats, and the back seat recovered, and I went ahead and replaced all the carpet. So I believe these Corbeau seats turned out really good, and they are nice and comfortable. Now, I know the purists like the low back. I still have those, but these ones did well. And then the center console just came out awesome, along with the back seats. As for safety, we went ahead and put all new seat belts in front and rear. And then remember, under the hood, we have the comfort of the nice AC. Moved around back to look at the rest of the interior. Got the power window fixed. Remember, we did all these window seals so it would stop scratching the glass. Nice, true, heavy tailgate. And then the carpet just turned out really well in this back area. Yes, I have a 4-way back here with no spare tire. Because if you recall from the hitch install video, it's supposed to allow your stock spare to fit, and well, it doesn't. Now I know you can say, oh, you got oversized tires. The oversized tire actually fits up there because it's only a 31. The problem I ran into is the brackets is about a ½ inch too long to hang down with the hitch. So can't re-drill the holes. I took out the factory rivets, so it is what it is. But I can get a mount to put the spare on the inside. Well, for those of you wondering, how does it drive? It drives like an old Jeep. Not really a big deal. Now, it's not one you're gonna be cruising at 85 miles an hour, one hand on the wheel, coffee in the other hand. But it is one you can cruise at 65 comfortably. Remember, these Jeeps were designed back when speed limits were 55 miles an hour as a national speed limit. So it cruises 65, about 2,500 RPM, not too bad. Fuel mileage combined city and highway after doing all the little upgrades, I'm getting about 10.1. It's pretty good in my eyes, considering when I bought this thing, I was getting about 6. Running real rich, just couldn't get the carburetor adjusted the way I wanted it. Starts up nice and easy, so it's an experience for sure. It's not for everybody. You got to pay attention, unlike modern cars today. Heck, some of you modern cars will steer for you or have autopilot. Well, there you have it. There's my 1978 Jeep Cherokee. Now, did I tell you everything I did to this? No. Why not? Well, I'll tell you, I changed the headlights LEDs and the taillights LEDs, or replaced front marker lights because they were old and dry rotted, or put a backup camera on it. Those are little things that everyone does, and they're not real exciting. Am I done? Yeah, I'm done for this year. Is it a Jeep? Yeah. What's that mean? Just empty every pocket. Will I have more to do to it? Absolutely. But right now, I'm just going to drive it and enjoy it. And next year, I'll get around to doing a few more things. What do I have in store for it? Well, not much. First of all, cruise control. Gotta get some cruise control in this, and it plugs right into my Dakota digital dash. Probably have the Jeep Farm do that when I'm in there. Second, I need a locker in the rear, some type of traction aid, because this thing came all-wheel drive, if you remember, and now it's two-wheel drive, which means one-wheel drive. It's an open front and rear diff, and with that 401, if you just get on it at all, it just spins one of the tires. What else does it need? Well, an ignition system. I want to put the Holley Hyperspark in here just to give me a little bit more low-end torque and to eliminate the last weak link of the AMC Jeep ignition. And finally, it needs a winch. I got a 12,000-pound winch sitting at the house for my old truck. Let's go right here. I'm gonna pop this center section of the bumper out. We'll fabricate something to wrap around the frame, reinforce it, and put a nice winch here, but incorporate it to look factory, or the best factory I can do. So, hope you learned something. Hope you like the videos. Hope you like the series. Next video, I'm gonna go back onto more of the power sports stuff. So if you like, share, subscribe, and until next time.